What is going on? It is Friday. Monday we start virtual school, but you're here for a book, and I've got one for you. We're going back to where it all started. That's right, the very first episode where we read Miss Margie Palatini's Moustache. Well, I got another book from her, and this one is called Moosekitos, a Moose Family Reunion. Now, you guys might remember old Moustache and the long mustache that he had. But let's find out what kind of hijinks he's about to get into. Right here on Mr. Eric Reads. Moose was feeling a mite melancholy, a bit blue, sort of sad. He was missing his big moosey family. Why, he hadn't seen them in years. Looking at old family photos was almost bringing him to tears. Moose missed being together, making memories, and enjoying good times. He even missed grumpy Uncle Harry and Cousin Curly's bad jokes, Aunt Lurleen's bad cooking. Moose sighed. Gosh, how he longed to see all the folks. "My poor down in the dumps, dear," said his darling missus. "There's no need to pine long or be lonesome. Let's plan a party, a reunion, a celebration. My love, what do you say to an old-fashioned family vacation?" A family reunion vacation? How simple, how easy, how perfectly perfect, Moose thought. So Moose calls went all over. From the north to the south, the east to the west, and all the places in between. From the relatives up in Moosekitos to the kin down in Mississippi, to the mooses in Texas, Montana, and even south in Alabama. The whole hairy herd would meet up in the Mountain Moose Lodge. A big family reunion vacation. Moose's mustache curled in anticipation. He planned three-legged races for the very first day. Silly songs for the next. He scheduled swimming and sunning, tanning and fanning and boating and floating and hiking and biking. Mornings to fish, time to chat and to dish. And everyone sleeping under the stars. Ah, togetherness, sighed the merry moose. Positively, perfectly perfect. With calendars marked with an X and watches synchronized to the second, mooses from coast to coast loaded up cars, packed vans, and stuffed trucks. Toot, toot, honk, honk. Lots of goodbye waves, and off they went. Caravans chugged up hills, slid down dales, snaked through tunnels, crossed bridges, rivers, this way, that way, left, right, to the tippy top of the mountain and the Moose Lodge. Aunties, uncles, sisters, brothers, each and every cousin piled out to greet and meet. There were lots of moose hugging, cuddling and kissing, handshaking, backslapping, hand clapping, tears and giggles too. It was just as Moose had hoped and planned. "Ah, one big, perfectly perfect family reunion," said Moose, ready with his camera and click. "All together now, everyone say cheese!" No. That was a sneeze. Moose looked at his darling wife. Her eyes were suddenly blurry and teary, and her nose was running and red. "I think I'm allergic. I'm going to bed." Before Moose could refocus, Bucky Jr. and the rest of the boys grabbed a volleyball and raced off. Sissy and the girls scooted to the beach. Cousins Larry, Mo, and Curly climbed into a canoe and paddled away on the lake. Great Aunt Matilda trailed off to birdwatch. For heaven's sake. The kin from Montana vamoosed and went for a hike, and great-great-granny toddled off on her bike. Then the cousins from Texas got ornery and started to squabble. The 4 sisters from Mississippi got into a tiff, and Uncle Harry started grumbling and stomped out with a sniff. "Stop! Wait!" cried Moose, watching them scatter. "What about togetherness?" "Not now, maybe later. Catch you next week. Mind your own beeswax." "Go fly a kite." The family was not playing ball, at least not together. Moose tried. He really tried to find something that they all wanted to do. It was not simple, it was not easy, and, well, it did not work. But Moose was still hopeful. He had an idea. The next evening, as daylight faded, the stars came out, and everyone trailed back for dinner. Moose was ready and waiting. He had the campfire crackling, stew bubbling, potatoes roasting, and marshmallows toasting. Moose got out his banjo and plucked and plinked a favorite sing-along tune. He strummed and he hummed and he sang and he crooned, but nobody joined in. The kiddies were whiny and cranky, the teens tired and bored. Aunt Lurleen yawned. Mo and Larry sat back and snored. "Oh, quiet!" said Uncle Harry, shuffling off to bed. "What about some family togetherness?" Moose sighed, sadly eating some more all by his lonesome. As the last campfire flames flickered, the only sound Moose heard was a rabbit. And then, from somewhere in the dark, in the quiet, came a buzz, then a ouch! Oh, ow, oh, ow, ow, snap, ow, 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 ow. "Land sakes, it's Moosekitos!" cried the Mississippi aunties, wailing with alarm. "Blasted buggy biters!" shouted Uncle Tex in the middle of the swarm. "Slap, slap, smack, smack, scratch, scratch, itch, itch, scratch!" "Help, it's mosquitoes!" yelled the boys as they tumbled off their cots. "Help, help, it's mosquitoes!" cried the girls covered in bumpy pink polka dots. "Do something, my darling," said Mrs. Moose as she scratched between 2 achoo's, achoo! But Moose pondered and wondered and worried. What could he really do? Then suddenly he froze. One of the biggest mosquitoes had landed right on his nose. Moose gulped and went eye to eye with a big buzzard. They glared and stared. Who would blink first? And then Moose grinned and smiled. He didn't swat, smack, or swish, but he knew exactly what to do. He reached into his knapsack for his tried and true moustache glue. Moose ordered one and all to take a heaping hoopful of the white pasty glop. Then Tex lassoed some whiskers from the bottom, while the beehived aunties took hold from the top. Herded around in a circle, everyone took a share of Moose hair, while even Uncle Harry took part. And with Moose's orchestration, a little humming, and some dandy moosey-dosey-dos, together they all wove this way, then that way, up and down, and front and back. There was no reason to worry, no reason to fret. Thanks to Moose and his moustache, The family now had the world's biggest mosquito net. That's right. The glued brood was safe, sound, and snuggled all around, with Moose smack dab in the middle. And yes, it was cramped and it was crowded, and Uncle Harry's snores were most definitely loud. But they were together at last, as close as any family could be. Moose sighed. It was a perfectly perfect reunion, even if they did itch. The end. Moosekitos! A Moose Family Reunion by Margie Palatini here on Mr. Eric Reads. Guys, I hope you had a wonderful day. Please go into your weekend feeling good and rest up, relax, be ready for Monday. But also come back tomorrow and Sunday because I'll have a book for you. Take care of yourselves, guys. Please stay safe, wash those hands good, and practice kindness in everything that you do, okay? I'll see you guys around. Take care.